The transfer market is absolutely electric, and we are here to cut right through the noise for you. Welcome to the Football Players Exchange, your inside track on the biggest moves of the day.
And that's the opening bell. I'm your analyst, Mark, and let me tell you, we have a packed trading floor today. We're tracking some huge portfolio shifts over at Tottenham, Manchester United, and Chelsea. So let's get straight to the action.
Okay, the market has been a real roller coaster today, with some of the biggest names in the game making some serious waves. Let's take a look at the assets sending shockwaves through the league.
Right, kicking things off at the market open, we're looking at a potential blockbuster deal. And this one involves what we call a blue chip asset, a proven top-tier performer with a massive, almost unshakable market value.
And that player is Chelsea's midfield maestro, Enzo Fernandez. He is a premium asset in every sense of the word. But right now, his valuation is being seriously tested by one of the biggest players on the market.
Now, what you're seeing here isn't just a rumor, it's a power play. By signaling his intent to leave, Fernandez is taking control of his own stock, trying to force Chelsea's hand. He's essentially putting himself on the open market.
And the potential buyer? Well, it's an absolute giant of the game, Real Madrid. This is shaping up to be a classic hostile takeover bid, where one massive club tries to snatch a key asset from a rival. It is a high-stakes game of corporate rating, and it looks like Fernandez himself is playing a key part in making it happen.
So while Chelsea is grappling with that potential departure, other clubs are getting proactive. Let's turn our attention to the goalkeeper market, because it looks like Tottenham is considering a major shakeup of its own.
Yep, this is a classic case of portfolio rebalancing. Spurs seem to be looking to cash in on the experienced 29-year-old Vicario and then reinvest that capital into a younger, high-potential asset in 23-year-old James Trafford. It's a bold pivot for sure, but it could pay off big time in the long run. Now we're moving into the mid-market. This is where the real horse trading happens. It's where clubs get creative, offloading players who might not be the best fit anymore and hunting for those hidden gems that can give them a competitive edge. And Manchester United is a prime example of this. They're actively trying to liquidate their holding in Manuel Ugarte, and they've already had a failed bid for one of their top targets, Elliot Anderson. But it's not all bad news for them. They did manage to retain their veteran asset, Harry Maguire, keeping his crucial leadership and experience right where it is.
You know, the mid-market right now is all about versatility. Clubs are desperate for players who can fill multiple roles, which is exactly why we're seeing so much interest in assets like Yves Bissouma, Maxi Araújo, and Marc Casado. These are the kinds of guys who give a manager a ton of tactical flexibility.
And speaking of Chelsea, they are using a really clever strategy to their advantage. They're leveraging their growing network of sister clubs to acquire players without having to pay a hefty transfer fee on the open market.
It's basically corporate synergy. Instead of buying a new player, Chelsea is just executing what we call an internal asset relocation. They're moving one of their existing talents, Valentin Barco, from their sister club in Strasbourg. It's an incredibly cost-effective way to add talent to the main roster without breaking the bank.
All right, let's dive into the futures market. This is where clubs are betting on the next generation of superstars. This is where you find those high-risk, high-reward prospects who could just become the next big thing in football.
And get this, Crystal Palace is taking a massive gamble on a 16-year-old phenom named Harris Afzal. I mean, this is the very definition of a speculative investment, but if it pays off, the returns could be absolutely astronomical.
The buzz around this kid is already off the charts. When you're being compared to a legend like Andy Robertson at just 16 years old, you know you've got something special. This is a long-term play for Crystal Palace, no doubt, but it could be a complete game changer for the club's future.
And Afzal isn't the only young gun making waves. The futures market is booming right now. You've got clubs like Liverpool, Newcastle, and Rangers all scrambling to sign the next big thing. The pipeline of talent is looking stronger than ever. And that's the closing bell on another wild day of trading. We have seen it all today. High-stakes takeover battles, shrewd portfolio adjustments, and some really bold bets on the future. The market is more dynamic and unpredictable than ever, and we're here to help you make sense of it all.
So now it's your turn to play the analyst. Of all the deals we talked about today, which one do you think is the smartest move? Which trade do you want to see happen? Let us know your market analysis in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like button. We'll see you for the next opening bell.